And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar...
The Oscar goes to...
The Oscar.
The Oscar...
The Oscar.
The Oscar...
And the Oscar goes to...
What's up, Binghamton? I'm back, which means we have a new semester, new topics, new locations, and everything else you can think of. So welcome to this episode of the Multicultural Resource Center Diversity Talk Show. I'm your host, Eric, and today what we're going to talk about is the 2016 Oscars. Now, there's been a lot of issues going on in terms of a lack of diversity referring to the Oscars. So are we seeing different cultural groups? Are we seeing African Americans? Are we seeing Latin Americans? Are we seeing Asian Americans? And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, I know about them, but I don't really watch them.
And why is it that you don't watch them?
I'm not that interested in watching like award shows that much.
Slightly. I mean, I've seen the Oscars before. I know the general basis of what the Oscars are for.
I'm not too big on it, but I do catch it here and then.
It's about Best Actor awards, stuff like that.
Yeah, I watch from time to time.
Is there anything that you like about the Oscars?
I like the Oscars.
What?
I like the Oscar
Oh, you like the actual
award.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a frequent watcher, but, I pay attention.
I have not.
Okay. Basically, she's saying that African American or people of color need to step up and realize their power and realize that they don't need to beg to get recognition for their hard work.
I know a lot of black actors are protesting this year, and in particular, I also read an article recently that about how women in the Oscar, black women who have been up for roles are always like for slaves and abusive mothers and things like that, and it's just a big mess.
Jaden Smith, I believe, she was complaining that there weren't enough African American actors nominated in the Oscar this year. So I think they're trying to boycott the Oscars to send a message, I guess, on racial equality and things like that.
I just know that there's been a lot of injustices and biases in terms of who wins the Oscars. And there's also been a lack of, I would say, minorities being nominated for awards. And I support Jada in her fight against the Oscars.
And I actually do support it because I feel as though, if people of color weren't really... I feel as though it's a problem when people of color aren't really supporting the Oscars and it doesn't make too much of an impact. Like, that shows how much of a lack of diversity there is, and we need more of diversity in the Oscars.
I support it for sure. I think that a lot of the issues that are happening are very real, and that if people don't bring attention to them, then nothing will be done about it in the future.
Well, my question is, what is the purpose of boycotting? Is the purpose of boycotting to show that you don't appreciate how something is being done, and therefore what's the benefit of boycotting? Because when you boycott, you're saying that you don't accept any part of what's going on, but why not create your own form of the Oscars or advocate for a different sense of forming the Oscars?
I believe it's a decent way to go about things, but I think they should, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 200 people, like a group of 200 that actually decides who wins or something like that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's a committee, so I feel like we just have to get that more diverse, and then hopefully it'll lead to more diverse nominees.
Yes, I guess because it'll bring attention to the fact that there isn't like a large, diverse group of people picking for all these people that everybody watches for.
Right. I definitely think it'll have power behind it,
I do believe that people will listen and they hear them. I think there were a couple of award shows that came out after the Oscars that did pay attention to people of color, and BET was one of them who were just like, we need to support and encourage our own communities, and so I think that it was important what they did because it raised the issue and brought attention to it.
I would probably just thank all my family, thank all the the director of the movie, and I don't know, be pretty excited and probably
Thank you so much.
And you would run off the stage?
Probably.
Just like, what? Me?
I'd be smiling.
Yourselves?
Looking like a meme or something.
I would be pretty hyped. I might, I don't know, take my shirt off or something.
God, thank my parents, and then thank all the people who
helped with the production, especially people of color, because they need to be recognized.
I would just say, bless up.
Oh, amen.
Amen.
That's it, 2 words?
That's all you need to say.
All right.
Keep it simple.
That's right.
Me? Oh my God. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Bless up.
Bless up.
All right, so this week we've interviewed a vast group of individuals, and we got many different opinions on the whole Oscar phenomenon. And we've learned 3 things. We're not quite certain that boycotting is the best way to go about getting more diversity in the Oscars. We've also learned that we need to talk about this issue. Read what you see on the internet. Talk to people. Talk to your family, your friends. Get everyone involved. But last and not least, Eric deserves an Oscar because I've been working hard, and I want one. It's only right that I get my recognition. The same way Jada says we all need it, I deserve it. Do you think I deserve an Oscar?
No. 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 No.
That is unfortunate. But on a lighter note, follow our social media pages, and I will be seeing you next week. Stay tuned.